Linda Makson, she's going to lead off with the testimonial, and then we'll move into the other ones. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Senator Ort and panel. And thank you for validating everything I have to say, everything I'm living through. Thank you all for coming, especially my friends and family. My name is Linda Makson. I live in the town of Orangeville in the county of Wyoming, state of New York. The name of the wind project is the Stony Creek Wind Farm. Later it was changed to the Orangeville Wind Farm. It's operated by Invenergy, LLC, from Chicago, Illinois. The total number of the wind turbines was to be 59, but after the Beaver Dam was discovered to be a house, they had to remove one. They say that the megawatts is 88.5, but I've seen 3 different numbers, so I can't validate either. However, it's up to 38,000 homes will be receive energy from these turbines. That's if they run at capacity. And if you're a turbine holder, you know that they seldom run at capacity, if ever. The one we have in Orangeville is the GE 1.6. It was untested at the time. The one previously mentioned by Gary in Sheldon was the GE 1.5. The height is 450 feet. The hub is 80 millimeters. The project went into effect December 31st, 2013. My house is surrounded by industrial wind turbines. Every single window I look out, I see a turbine, minimally one. 1,230 feet is the law in my town for a non-participating person. That's us. 700 feet from the property line, so it's 1/4 mile. The symptoms of stress, tension, that began when the town presented the project. It only increased with each town board meeting, planning board meeting, and zoning board meeting. And through living through the clear cutting of the land, the displacement of every living thing on that land, followed by the cement trucks, the rebar trucks, the hundreds of vehicles carrying the various components made our quality of air poor. The breathing became difficult. We were unable to open our windows on the roadside because of the dirt, the grime, the dust was in the air. With the installation of the turbines, there was the insistent beep, 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 and sounds of riveting and the night lights for night work that disturbed our sleep and any daytime outdoor activities. Our further sleep disturbance has continued day and night. The daytime disturbances are noise that sounds like a train, Niagara Falls, or jets landing and taking off constantly. Sometimes the turbines are so loud, we have to talk loud in order to hear each other when we're outside. Flicker is nauseating. Flicker is caused when the blade crosses the path of the sun, and for a moment it's dark, and then it's light. Just open and close your eyes. Flicker makes me feel sick. I have to leave the room where flicker is occurring, and the only place I can find relief is in my bathroom, as long as I don't look out a window, because flicker also covers the ground, the trees, and anything that's out there. Just like the noise, there is no escaping flicker when it happens, and it lasts for about a half hour. The loss of vista and our declined property values was almost instantaneous. It began when we realized that we had no view left. We live in the country. We live 1,800 feet above sea level, and we expect to see the beauty of the land. The leaves popping out in the spring, and now with the leaves changing. The migrating birds, we've lost it all. The headaches and continued stress and tension from the noise, and the vista showing only turbines running day and night and lights. blinking red lights. It doesn't end. The radio and television are also negatively affected. Muggy, damp days make the noise worse, as does the speed of the wind and the direction of the wind. And then there are days when the turbines just roar, and for no apparent reason, they just roar. The only good day or night is when they're not running. And we'll say to each other, we can feel the tension leaving our bodies, as well as the sense of calm and quietness. And we know for a moment that all is well. The relief we get is when we leave the house. Earplugs and wearing my CPAP machine help me at night. However, my husband, he hears them all the time.
They benefit whoever it is that has gotten the tax credits to put them up. It's awful. There's no view shed. That's minor compared to the noise. It sounds like breaking surf or launching jets off the back of an aircraft carrier at times. Usually that's at night, and you can hear them through the walls of the house. There's at least 16 surrounding this property. We've been sold out by our illustrious town board for the town of Orangeville, Wyoming County. They're so unintelligent that the contract they signed called for a smaller nacelle, which is the big object on top of the tower that the blades sit on. They went and put in a larger nacelle, which creates more noise, and the blades are much bigger. And they sign a 40-year non-disclosure agreement that they cannot speak about them negatively.
The turbine negative effect is wearing on us. When we leave for pleasure, we don't want to return. We feel good, and when we crest a hill and see the lights, we immediately can feel our bodies tense and our stress level increase. The medical treatment we've sought, we've been to audiologists, and we both have some hearing loss. My husband has AFib, and the cardiologist will tell you that stress and tension has a negative effect on an individual. I have an intestinal bowel disease, and the tension and stress wreaks havoc with my body. The only others in Orangeville that are impacted and can speak up have either moved away or are looking to move. In the very beginning, I contacted the developer, and the response from the representative was, the mitigation for flicker is blinds, shades, curtains, shutters. I have nothing on my windows because I live 1,800 feet above sea level. My nearest neighbor is a quarter mile away, and I don't care what the deer see. The mitigation is $200 to buy these things. So if I went out and I purchased them, they would give me a 1099, and I'd still have to claim it on my income tax. The same as for TV reception. They'll give you a 1-year package of the basic package for a satellite, but you have to claim it on your income tax as income. And the mitigation for sound is earplugs. If a person chooses to take Invenergy's offer, they will also have to sign a release that states that they, for 40 years, cannot speak ill of Invenergy. However, if that participating person decides that they can't take it anymore and they begin to speak up, they lose the money that they are being paid to have that turbine on their property. It's not going to change. The turbine's going to remain there, but they just won't be paid. You have to appreciate that the noise can be heard in my house, even with the doors and windows closed. And there have been times when my house has actually vibrated. The turbines are on the Linden-Clarendon fault line. The Clarendon-Linden fault line is a major series of fault lines in western New York, extending through Orleans, Genesee, Wyoming, and Allegheny counties, and is responsible for much of the seismic activity in the region. So how much is each turbine weight of each turbine putting the stress on this fault line. We have 58 in Orangeville. Sheldon has 77 something. So how much weight is on this fault line? Every Orangeville resident has a well. With the leaking of fluids and the many dismantling of the turbine blades and hubs, what's going into our water aquifer? The turbines sometimes move and sometimes they don't. Too much wind and they shut down. Too little wind and they can't run. But daily they run regardless of wind and shut down and seem to rest. And then they'll start up again. They must produce, however, enough electricity to keep the red lights blinking, and that keeps the FAA happy. They are controlled in Chicago, which is the headquarters, and with cameras on each one, the turbines can be stopped or started as they desire. I want to know what's blowing in the wind, meaning we have no air quality control devices in the town to tell us what the turbines are stirring up and what we're breathing. The turbines have been dismantled, we're leaking fluid, you can see it running down, or the gaskets on the blades have flapped and flapped to where there's black marks all over them. We learn nothing from the company, they won't tell us. So I want to know what's blowing in the wind, and I want to know what's going in my well. In the beginning, I contacted the Wyoming County Health Department, the Wyoming County ADA, all the permit issuing agencies, and others, and the only results, silence. Did you know that the residents in the Delaware Water Gap are actually taxed a view tax? Well, in Orangeville, I want a refund. I have no view. Clearly, my husband and I are suffering from industrial wind turbine syndrome. The lack of quality of life from sleep deprivation due to noise, our health being compromised, the decline of our property value, and the loss of our vista has taken a toll on our quality of life. The questions I have: how much per kilowatt hour does it cost? If a turbine produces so much energy that it can power so many houses, what's the cost per kilowatt? What is the return on the taxpayer's investment? Because we know we're all paying for it. And is it worth ruining people's health and life? I thank you for being here and for listening. And I really sincerely thank you for doing this and validating what we know. The only others in Orangeville that are impacted and can speak up have either moved away or are looking to move.